Slick.
Wait till that motherfucker start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit that motherfucker body.
Look how slick. Mike, look how slick he is.
Oh, he's gonna get.
In August of 2024 against Israel Madrimov to make him a 4-division champion. That's it. That's all. He hasn't fought since then.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go around.
Mike Tyson issued a strong warning to Terence Crawford after siding with Canelo Alvarez at the press conference. Tyson argued that Crawford is simply too small to compete with Canelo, claiming the American has virtually no chance of beating the Mexican superstar. He added that the matchup doesn't excite fans and questioned whether the fight should even happen. Tyson's remarks instantly intensified the pre-fight buzz and fueled heated debate across the boxing world.
That Terence Crawford is simply too small and doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. I am Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout.
Veteran boxer Gabe Rosado shared his perspective on the potential Crawford versus Canelo clash. While Rosado acknowledged Crawford's impressive technical skills, sharp movement, and accuracy, he emphasized that Crawford lacks the punching power to truly hurt Canelo. Rosado noted that Canelo has stood toe-to-toe with some of the sport's hardest punchers without ever folding, raising doubts about Crawford's ability to make an impact. According to Rosado, the biggest obstacle for Crawford in this fight would be his lack of physical strength and durability against such a powerful, battle-tested opponent.
So I don't see how Crawford could hurt Canelo, because Canelo's been in there with Kovalev. He's been in there with Bivol. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with big punchers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can a guy that's really a 47-pounder, even though he's up in weight, I don't see how he can hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It just feels completely, because your body is different to absorbing a bigger blow. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when I sparred the guys in the lower weight classes and they hit me, bro, it's like, no disrespect, but it just feels like you get hit with a pillow. It's just different. It could be a murderous puncher at 147, but if I'm walking around 185 and I'm a solid guy and I'm used to fighting guys, you know, with a different kind of power, and I spar a guy that's a welterweight, it feels like a pillow.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult shared his view bluntly. He doesn't believe Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. His reasoning comes down to size, strength, and style. According to him, Canelo's vast experience against elite opponents across multiple weight classes has equipped him with the tools to neutralize a fighter like Crawford. While Showbiz acknowledged Crawford's adaptability and high boxing IQ, he argued those traits alone won't be enough to overcome Canelo's power and ring control. In his opinion, the fight leans heavily in Canelo's favor, and Crawford would need something extraordinary to pull off an upset.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford.
Yeah. Got Canelo. Yeah. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody can do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? Because that would be tough.
Pay the bill. That's why Canelo feels with it.
Crawford's decision to put on significant weight to face Canelo has raised concerns among respected trainers, including Robert Garcia. Garcia warned that rapid weight gain could seriously affect a fighter's agility, stamina, and sharpness inside the ring. He cautioned Crawford that added bulk might slow him down, robbing him of one of his biggest advantages, his speed. Garcia also pushed back against comparisons between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, calling them inaccurate. He noted that Mayweather never bulked up in the same way. Instead, his success against bigger opponents came from speed and precision, not size. According to Garcia, the physical toll of fighting at a much higher weight could leave Crawford at a disadvantage even before the opening bell.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning right now that Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how, you know, his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. You know, I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So, you know, I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe even pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the
Gary Antoine Russell praised Canelo Alvarez's mastery of his craft, calling him a fighter who not only understands his strengths but knows exactly how to apply them in every battle. Russell argued that Crawford cannot simply strip away skills Canelo has spent years perfecting. From slick head movement and sharp counterpunching to brutal body shots, Canelo's arsenal has been refined against the highest level of competition. While Russell acknowledged Crawford's versatility and ring intelligence, he stressed that Canelo's ability to impose his style makes him one of the toughest opponents in boxing. Once a fighter achieves the kind of confidence and efficiency that Canelo has, Russell explained, it becomes nearly impossible for challengers to break that rhythm.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. Yeah. Talking about like not 12 round shape, I'm talking about like 16 round shape.
Former world champion Chris Algieri weighed in on the struggles fighters face when moving up in weight. He explained that adding pounds changes a boxer's entire feel inside the ring, from timing and movement to stamina. Algieri noted that while Crawford may look bigger on fight night, that size doesn't necessarily translate into added strength or punching power. He emphasized that competing at an unfamiliar weight is always risky, especially against someone like Canelo, who is already comfortable at that size. According to Algieri, Crawford's technique remains world-class, but the physical adjustment to a heavier frame could affect his performance, particularly in the later rounds when endurance is crucial.
So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, you know, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you know, you're gonna put on weight, you're gonna be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed all types of crazy numbers just to get people to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this, if you look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, and even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long, and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd.
Another boxing analyst firmly predicted that Canelo Alvarez would not lose to Terence Crawford. His reasoning was straightforward. Crawford lacks the power to hurt Canelo. Without that ability to earn Canelo's respect, he argued, the fight turns into a losing battle. Considering the size difference, the analyst believes Crawford would struggle to withstand Canelo's heavy shots over 12 rounds. With Canelo's proven chin, physical strength, and ability to control distance, Crawford's offense would likely be stifled. While acknowledging Crawford's achievements, the analyst concluded that Canelo's physicality and toughness would ultimately decide the outcome.
That's Virgil Ortiz calling. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing versus Kovalev. Kovalev killed the man in the ring. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Danny Jacobs. Canelo Alvarez wasn't even demoralized by Dimitri before. He just got outboxed. He didn't hurt Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, you see how we say Iron Mike Tyson? Well, Canelo Alvarez has an iron chin. Terence Crawford. And also, put it this way also, after the fight with Jamel Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, and I spoke to Jamel Charlo. Jamel Charlo basically said that, yo, Canelo Alvarez couldn't feel my punches. I hit Canelo Alvarez with 2 left hook and he didn't even feel nothing. Jamel Charlo was Iron Man Jamel Charlo. The 154-pound undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not active right now, but we all know he was an undisputed, a knockout artist that got all his belt by knocking out every opponent to become undisputed, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez has gotten hit with the most devastating punches in his generation, 175 and 160. Fought the likes of Kirkland that was known for power.
Former boxer and commentator Willie D offered a detailed breakdown of the matchup. He highlighted that Canelo Alvarez is younger than Terence Crawford, an important factor in boxing. Beyond age, Willie D pointed out Canelo's height advantage, which allows him to dictate distance and tempo in the ring. He stressed that size and age are not just numbers. They directly influence reflexes, recovery, and punch resistance. According to his assessment, Crawford faces multiple disadvantages before skill even comes into play, making this challenge an uphill battle from the start.
It's 34, Bud is 37. So you give that edge to Canelo, because in boxing, youth is a commodity. Height, Canelo is 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 5 feet 8 inches tall. So you give the slight edge to Terence Crawford right there. The reach, Canelo is 70.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 74 inches tall, which gives him an almost 4-inch reach advantage. Their weight, Canelo is a middleweight and Bud is a lightweight middleweight. Records. Canelo is 63-2-2, 39 knockouts. Bud is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Canelo's last fight was a victory over William Skull. It was a unanimous decision on May 3rd, 2025. Bud last entered the ring on August 3rd, 2024, where he defeated Israel Madrimov.
John Ryder, who has shared the ring with Canelo Alvarez, gave a grounded take on how a potential showdown with Terence Crawford might unfold. Drawing from personal experience, Ryder explained that Canelo's style is built on steady, calculated pressure, the kind that slowly drains opponents both physically and mentally. He emphasized that Canelo's danger isn't only in his power, but in his ability to dictate the pace and control the rhythm of the fight. Ryder noted that even skilled, determined fighters often find themselves fading as every exchange feels like a test of endurance and toughness. From his perspective, Crawford's precision and competitive drive might not be enough to withstand that kind of relentless pressure across championship rounds. Ryder concluded that Canelo's combination of strength, tactical pressure, and championship experience could prove overwhelming.
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. Been a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, what is it, 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, Canelo once done it and made the step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw how much he got touched. Obviously, it's 2 different fighters. But why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160 or maybe another one at 168?
You need to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and listen, he's still developing and growing into that weight. He could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush. So he's not going to be fully. He's not going to have time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges. So it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there, but like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. I remember watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice, and every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
While many lean toward Canelo, Coach Anthony struck a more balanced note. He acknowledged that Canelo is naturally the bigger fighter with more experience at higher weight classes, but warned against underestimating Terence Crawford. Anthony praised Crawford's high ring IQ, adaptability, and ability to switch stances, qualities that could present unusual problems. He pointed out that although Canelo has faced elite opposition, Crawford's sharp timing, clever angles, and killer instinct make him a genuine threat. According to Coach Anthony, writing Crawford off would be a mistake, as his skill set is dangerous enough to trouble even a champion of Canelo's caliber.
Okay, but we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147-pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147-pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. That you only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, if we want to break it down fundamentally, don't get me wrong, Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes. But we got to be honest here, man. He's not that. It's not like we're fighting Benavidez here, okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off. He can still use his footwork. He can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of these punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terence Crawford is going to be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well if Canelo goes in there and overestimates his weight and his size. I've seen bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to that.
What are your predictions for this classic matchup? Please let us know in the comments below.